Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Timeless Season 2, Episode 4. It's called The Salem Witch Hunt. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. And first things first, apologies for the lateness of this review. This is several days late. Blame Connor's neighbours for doing DIY whenever we've tried to record this.
Yeah, some construction work going on right below me, and it's very distracting and loud.
Mostly their fault. A little bit
Yeah,
of Connor's fault.
I can't control them.
A little bit of Connor's fault. You pick where you live. Anyway, so you're going to talk about Timeless, episode 4. This one's a Salem Witch episode, and kind of one of the things we were expecting to happen happens here, where Flynn actually goes on the mission instead of Wyatt. Wyatt's kind of AWOL because he's off finding Jessica, and almost immediately it became very clear that Jessica and him aren't in a great place. She's pissed at him because he's been gone for months. He always goes away for months at a time, and I do actually kind of like this the swerve that, yeah, like, you've been obsessing over your wife all this time, but your marriage was going to just go down the toilet had you. And I actually thought that by the end of the episode he was going to realise that maybe it's just nice that she's still alive, and now I've got Lucy, which maybe is a more healthier relationship, but that's actually not where it goes.
No.
However, I actually have to give it a lot of props, because what I did not see coming was him flat out saying, okay, I'm going to go show you where I've been all this time, and so you'll understand. And then not only that, her finding out that she died to him, and that
Yeah, no, it plays really well, doesn't it?
yeah, he has no memory of what they've been like for the last 5-6 years because she's been dead to him. Literally, not in a
Yes.
not in a you're dead to me kind of way. So the episode actually ends. The cliffhanger at the end is actually him saying, "Hey, can you give me one more chance? Because I didn't do any of this, and it sounds like I've been a shitbag, but hey, now that I'm
Yeah,
back."
the thing is, he keeps saying, "Oh, I've changed," and she's like, "Yeah, you always say that." He's like, "No, no, I've literally changed."
Yeah, you died, and I went years without you, and I've been saving the world with time travel. things have adjusted a little bit. I'm not
Yeah,
quite the man I was for a number of reasons. And I also like the other part I really liked as well that I thought they might drag out is that he actually told Lucy almost immediately. He didn't tell her, of course, the last episode when he got the text because he was kind of in the shock of it all.
yeah,
But as soon as he has a minute, he phones Lucy and tells her. And I actually
yeah,
really respected that. I was like, oh, you're not going to waste her time with the forced drama of like him hiding it behind her back. And it's like, no, tell her, she'll understand, and she'll be upset, and she was. But
yeah.
the drama is actually a lot more interesting because it's just all in the open now. And, they get off the ship when they come back, and Jessica's there, and like, oh, Lucy's like, oh, this is kind of awkward, kind of in love with your husband. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah. I think it's funny. Last episode we were saying, maybe it was a symptom of the reduced episode count is why they had to do this so early in the season. Where there was no time, like it was the same episode that it happened, right? But here I'm like, well, okay, yeah. The upside to it being, shorter episode count is that they have to just get on with it. They can't drag this out now.
Yeah, we criticised the last episode for immediately doing it really quickly, but I think the way it did everything that I would expect a network show to drag out in this one was really endearing. I was like, okay, I'm glad you're actually getting to the meat of this really quickly in that sense. So ultimately, I do think he's going to end up being with Lucy. I think ultimately they're going to learn that, hey, like this was this idealized marriage that was more of a fantasy than it was a reality.
Yeah.
I see that being where it ultimately goes. I could be wrong, but that's
No,
fine.
no. I think what's most interesting about it though is it's not something that they did that changed it, which is what we were speculating last week.
Yeah, because we thought it was the security guard who got shot, and instead it seems like no, Rittenhouse took the mothership somewhere that seems to be what's affected this.
Yeah.
They did this.
Yeah, I think it was San Diego in the 80s.
Yeah, did they intentionally do it for this? Because I mean, right now I think they're assuming that, and I'm not sure. Like, it could be something that's just it's a side effect of whatever they did, or was it something specific to cause this for some
I
reason?
think it might have been, even if just to create drama, try and distract Wyatt, because he's the soldier, right? He's the one that can
Yeah,
physically
yeah,
fight
true.
back at them. So it's like, all right, let's get him out of the way.
Actually, I love when okay, he's not coming. It's like, well, I guess you're going along. It's like, well, we do have another, like, someone who can take care of themselves, and Flynn's just sitting there all smug. He's like, I'll come along, why not? He's like, no way. Christopher's just like, no
Yeah,
way. And Lucy quite rightly says, hey, this is, like, we're going back to the Salem witch trial times, like, I'm a woman and he's a black man, like, what, like, we need someone who maybe has a bit more access. And
yeah,
Christopher's like, God damn it, I can't argue with that. And so they go off to the Salem witch trials. Because Rittenhouse are trying to kill Terminator style. They're trying to take out the mother of Benjamin Franklin.
Yes.
right? That's we've got a Terminator-style assassination attempt
I'm,
here.
I'm a little upset no one referenced it.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah,
Feel like this show's been pretty good at referencing things when it's like other things.
Wyatt should have probably, cracked a Terminator reference. I get that, Flynn's not the most. He doesn't seem like a movie buff, but yeah. Hey, it was established last time. Lucy and Wyatt both, they watch old movies. They both seen Citizen Kane. They were pissed at.
It's Rufus, wasn't it?
What did I say? Wyatt?
Wyatt, yeah.
Sorry, I meant Rufus. They were pissed at Wyatt because he hadn't
Yeah.
seen Citizen Kane. Sorry, I just said the wrong name. And I thought, maybe they should be referencing Terminator here, but hey ho.
Yeah.
But alas. I really like the scene. See when later on when Lucy gets captured because her mother shows up because she's been told by evil grandfather, you have to take care of your daughter, and their plan is to go to witch trials and accuse her of being a witch. And I actually kind of like the scene. There was a nice little kind of message to the scene where she's in with the other women who have been accused of being witches, and it's all very no, I'm proud to be here with you because it's essentially Me Too, but back in Salem witch trial times. Like people have just accused you of these things because they don't like you. Yeah. And it's just like people are just taking it for granted, and yeah, it was a sweet scene. It was this nice kind of solidarity that I felt. That she was giving a little speech, so that was good. Of course, the other big element in this episode that was really getting played with was that Gia actually tells Rufus about the visions. So, I saw your arm get hurt, and then you were hurt.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but people get their arms hurt, it's fine. And she has another one, and she's like, okay, so you shoot this pilgrim-looking guy, and you get blood all over your hands. And he's like, okay, all right. And then, obviously, we get to this questioning here where he sees this guy with a scar on his face, and he's like, oh, that's him. He's the Rittenhouse guy because Gia told me about. Let's go, like get information out of him, and they kind of torture him a little bit, or Flynn tortures him a little bit because it's Flynn.
I don't think I'd quite go as far as say this is torture.
Okay, not
aggressive
torture.
Questioning.
Okay, aggressive questioning. Okay, we'll go with that, and that's all fine, but it's actually later on in the episode this guy shows up with a gun pointing at Rufus because, hey, you grabbed me earlier. So they only get into this situation because Rufus actually goes and kind of initiates it. He actually makes this happen because he's expecting it. So that gets into this sort of, cause and probability sort of argument that we can get into about, are things happening for a reason? And it's like, and Gia by the end, when he comes back and tells her all this, and that's why he had to shoot him because he was doing it in self-defense.
That was the thing, though.
That's theoretically why he did it in the first place. But Rufus makes the choice to not shoot him, and then the guy gets run over by a horse and carriage. Which actually feels even more violent than a car, somehow. So something about it feels even more violent.
It's the trampling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's trampling.
But it's way more comical. It's the exact same scene as someone steps back and then gets hit by a bus. That's what you usually see. But it's way more. It's just funnier when it's a horse running into them.
Yeah, so he gets trampled, and of course that's a whole other can of worms of, even if you try to change things, this was always destined to happen. So
right, but was it only destined to happen because she told him? He mentions, is this some sort of loop? Is it a paradox?
And even then, is it just an accident? Is it actually destined? Is this just a coincidence?
Right.
One time's not enough to say this is definitely just. It's always going to happen.
No, I agree. But he's pretty freaked out and says, don't tell me any more of these visions because I don't want to cause them to come true.
Yeah, no. But of course she's going to struggle because I assume she's going to get one that's really bad, and she's going to have to try and
It'll be like one of the team dying.
Yeah. And it'll be like, okay, you guys have to avoid this, and maybe the easy way of doing that is to just not send that person. Let's say it's Flynn or Wyatt, just swap them. Okay, the other one can go. maybe we'll.
The problem is, that way. Most of the visions have been about Rufus, and he's the pilot, so they can't really swap him out.
I wonder if she has a personal connection to him, or if it's just coincidence. Because you're saying most of them have been about Rufus. I don't know if that's necessarily true, or if it's just the ones we've seen have been about Rufus.
She actively says, "I'm having visions about you." Like she says that to him.
Okay.
I mean, they can't all have been that, but
the one with the bridge definitely wasn't.
No, exactly. But she's having enough that clearly there's a theme going on.
Yeah, probably because she's close to him, I imagine. Whether it's because she's close to him, in relations, or if it's because she's close to him, like literally she was close to him in the ship when they travelled, when she got this this I don't want to call it an illness, but this That's the element.
Condition.
Yes. So I can see them playing with that. Obviously, Rittenhouse itself. Honestly, Rittenhouse itself is often been the weaker element of the show, I think. And I think here, like, you know, having like the grandfather being like, "Oh, I'm going to take care of your daughter," and then she comes back. Like, I'm actually kind of getting sick of what's her face, Emma, constantly questioning her loyalty.
Smug bitch face.
Yeah, like she's every scene she's in, she's doing the same thing. Oh, are you not loyal to the regime? Like, you know, it's the SS officer, you know, questioning every single time, and I'm like I get it, but like we've seen this so many times. Like I got sick of it in this episode. It was only twice. Where when she comes back and she immediately like, oh, did you solve the problem then? Oh, couldn't you have solved it? It wasn't your fault, was it not?
No, it's getting irritating.
It's just about one note is basically my thing. So that'd be my criticism of this season, I guess, so far. But everything with the main trio, though, and what they're up to,
Yeah, that's been pretty great.
has been pretty great. And I think they've actually handled the Jessica stuff really well so far.
Yeah, I did really like when they got back and they mentioned how and you know Jessica's alive again, and you know Christopher and Connor are like, wait, Jessica, she was dead. What's going on?
Yeah, for them that's that's nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but for Lucy and Rufus, who also travelled with them, this is also a change. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, wait, she was dead. What happened? That's good.
Yeah.
Or even the fact that they come back and it's now the Salem witch revolt or something like that because they fought back and they didn't get the ladies hanged. So now it's seen as this moment of revolution as opposed to
and the phrase witch hunt isn't a thing now.
yeah, because Rufus mentions it. He's like, oh, it meant going after someone when they weren't really responsible for it or whatever. So I guess
going after someone unjustly.
yeah, but I guess that never became a thing because here we are. So I'm looking at. They've done that a few more times this season because they did that with after was it last week after the movies or was it before? But they changed something else and it changed like
It was last week. It was Hedy Lamarr that she was rich now.
That's right. Yeah.
She renewed the patent.
They've been playing it a bit more fast and loose because the reality they're in now is they've changed a few things and it's not necessarily like our world anymore.
Yeah, then get away with a few things now, can't they?
Witch hunt's not a thing. Eddie Lamar's rich and famous for being an inventor. All right, we're done.
Yeah.
So we'll see what else they change next week. Those reckless. I guess you could say legend is a whole phrase. You know, sometimes we screw things up for the better. But there you go.
No, it applies here too.
It does apply. So no, that was a solid episode. I liked all the witch trial stuff. It was an interesting setting. And like I say, I think they're handling the Jessica stuff better than I thought they were going to based on last episode. So far, it's pretty solidly done. So credit where credit is due. So we should hopefully be back to a regular slot when we review it next episode next week. So apologies this one was so late. But let us know what you thought about it in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?